Earth, the only known planet to sustain life. With 7 continents, 5 oceans, 195 countries, and 7.7 billion people. But one problem.
Menstrual cycle is a part of the reproductive phase in a woman. The first time they get the cycle that is what we call menarche. So usually the menstrual cycle is anywhere between 21 days to 35 days. It varies from girl to girl, and this is purely for the reproductive purpose. So what happens in the menstrual cycle, the thickened lining of the endometrium has to shed. When that happens, that's when the girl gets her periods or the bleeding, and this is totally controlled by the variations in multiple hormones produced from the ovary, the follicle, and the pituitary gland in combination, and they work in unison for the menstrual cycle to happen. Main thing with the menstrual cycle is the hygiene is very, very important. When good healthy hygiene is not followed, there are health risks involved.
These health risks include UTIs, RTIs, and could even lead to cervical cancer and possibly death. Keeping this in mind, one can see that menstrual hygiene isn't an issue to take lightly. However, millions of girls around the world aren't getting educated about it and/or don't have the resources needed in order to maintain proper hygiene. This is in part due to the stigma surrounding menstruation. Some countries restrict menstruating females from activities such as cooking and attending religious places of worship. In other countries, females are sent to menstrual sheds each month where they must spend the duration of their period. These sheds are usually brimming with bacteria and other life-threatening diseases. Besides this, many females are devoid of privacy to clean themselves and don't have access to separate sanitary premises. The aspect of cost also affects females living in poverty. Sanitary products can be expensive, and many females who can't afford them use unhygienic methods as replacements. In many developing countries, women are hesitant to go to the doctor out of shame induced from menstrual stigma and resort to detrimental home remedies when faced with menstrual-related problems. All of these factors lead to the perception of menstruation in a negative light and demoralizes a female's resolve to take on the world.
Menstruation is surrounded by social taboo and beliefs from ancient time. Most of the developing countries have a significant taboo, and there are certain tribes which think the menstruation is a powerful and a sacred one, but most of the cultures, they think it is impure, dirty. So it's not comfortably talked in open. And so these, when the kids attain menarche, they are so young and have no clue what it is. If they're not educated ahead of time or made aware of when they have their first cycles, when they see the blood, it is scary. Some kids might think they're going to bleed and they're going to die, and this is where we have to create awareness before the girls attain menarche. The problem is, most of the time, the parents themselves are not very well educated or aware of the process and how to educate the children. So this is when the problem starts, and the kids may not be comfortable going to their parents or any adults in the family reach out and ask for help. There are instances, kids using the leaves and mud, which in turn leads to poor hygiene, and it will take an emotional toll on the kids as well, because they think this is something wrong with themselves and they are not comfortable talking to anybody about it, which can be emotionally depressive for the kids.
So, how can you help? You can start by advocating for menstrual awareness in your own community. Fundraise and donate to nonprofits. Educate your peers. Volunteer at menstrual awareness events. Create menstrual awareness events. Contact your local legislators and request them to pass laws that would make menstrual health products more accessible. Start a social media campaign. There are so many ways you can raise awareness about this problem in your own community. So, go out and be the change, because it all starts with you.